them and up through the gill to make sure I get them. And they go, this is pornography. This is some weird sexual thing. She's got her arm in a fish's mouth. Who even thinks of that? I was taught how to noodle when I was a kid. It's pretty scary to stick your arm up in there, and I've caught a few fish. Not as good as the ones that are really good at it. But that's the best way to fish is go up in a big rock bank at a lake, and there's not going to be snakes under there. They got to breathe, so it's safe. You just stick your hand in these holes and grab fish out. But see, to them, it's so alien to even have a man sticking his hand in a hole and pulling out a 40-pound yellow cat. In her bikini, and they think, her daddy took her on all those great trips in a little fishing cabin and caught the fish in front of her. People look at that and they go, this is weird. This is gay. This is sexual. This is strange. Because if you look at fashion since the 70s, anorexic, type in heroin chic models. They look like somebody that's got AIDS. So their image of a woman is a doddering, weird woman that's all in the fashion into the system. That's the controlled women. That's the modern system. That's the opposite. We want. I wish I could find the painting again. I was at the Smithsonian when I was like 20. I'd seen it when I was a kid, but I went back there when I was on a trip. And I went in and they had, in this big art museum, this big giant oil painting from the 1800s. And it was the image of a cave woman with a saber-toothed tiger trying to come into the cave. She was this beautiful auburn hair woman, and she had this club in her hand with her babies behind her, and she was type in famous oil painting cave woman protects shoulder. Maybe it'll come up today. And it was, and I just love that image of that strong, but she had big hips. She was all beautiful, and she had that club in her hand protecting the kids. And I remember seeing that and going, God, that's the sexiest thing I ever saw. The idea that as a father with 3 daughters, 19, 16, and 6, that I don't want them to do whatever they want and be powerful and be strong and be amazing. But there'd be nothing more honored if they decided to be homemakers and raise their children. That's close, but that's not it. She's got the auburn hair, though. That's pretty close. So, great job, crew. Put that back on screen. The one I saw was like somewhere that was a saber-tooth tiger coming in. But the point is, you want that woman? Oh, she's primitive. She knows how to kick ass. What's sexier? Some heroin head woman that's lazy and hates herself, is depressed all the time, you think, or that woman right there? So that's where I stand. So let's show this clip here. This warlord Johnny said, Shareem Khan is right. This is borderline pornographic. And the idea that conservative men are attracted to masculine women is insane. They're not masculine. That's what women are supposed to look like. Men are supposed to be strong and put through the test and even bigger and meaner. It doesn't mean you're stupid. The fake intellectuals think if you're strong, it makes your IQ go down. Oh, I don't have a British accent. I don't have an effeminate accent. I must not be smart. I mean, do a fake little feminine accent for you, then it makes me smart. Smarts is what we've succeeded in doing in defeating the globalists so far. I mean, to put on a fake English accent, I can't. It celebrates humanity. I think maybe a copy of the painting or one based off that, but in the large one, there's a saber-toothed cat coming out of it, but it's a little bit different. But you found one somewhere, so it's probably, maybe the painting I saw was inspired by that, or vice versa, I don't know, but it's very similar, but the one I saw, she's like this, and the saber-toothed cat's coming in on her, and she's got the club. And she's got a little wild hair, but man, if you find it, I'm going to print out the wall. Because that's a symbol of our collective strength. Our women strong makes the women strong. It protects the children. And I want to invoke that. I want to empower that. I want to bring that back. You know, stuff like that. But I just have not put them through the paces of really doing all that stuff. I mean, it was religious with my dad. It's like, now we're going to go cut corn. Now we're going to go feed the hogs. Now we're going to string electrical wire. Now we're going to go slaughter this cow. Now we're going to go pick these vegetables. Now we're going to go plant these vegetables. Now we're going to skin this deer and cut it up and put it in the deep freeze. Now we're going to can these foods, and it's fun. You do it, and it's religious. You're meant to. You zone out while you're doing it. It's like everything zens out. You're like, and you're boiling these vegetables, or you're putting them in these cans. You're putting the vinegar in. And you're there cooking the food. They're outside the stars at night, and and your family shows up, and you're playing dominoes or cards. You're going out looking at the night sky. There's a fire crackling, and you're just there. Now they're telling stories about the ancestors and what they did. Let's go tomorrow and see the cemetery up the hill of our families that were here when the Comanches came and how they burned down the house and killed the kids. His daddy was gone. You go look at the tombstone. You can barely read it. Killed by Indians, 1826. It's all who you are, what you've done, where you came from. It's this sense of timelessness. Hollywood can't offer that. The New World Order can't offer that. God offered us this continuum. And this is what this is all about, and we're living it right now. So here's the clip. Millions of views are so upset. They're like, what's she doing with the fish? It's sexual. Why do they like a masculine woman? Because she's healthy. She's not skinny. She's not fat. She's wearing a bikini. She's got muscles. That's feminine, not masculine. Women are not emaciated, cowardly, stupid things. That's the modern society. That's what it did. We want to empower women to empower us. We want to empower men to empower us all. And we will do it together. Here's the clip.
Everybody asks if we hurt these fish when we catch them. Well, for one, we put that zip tie in there. I don't know, we've been doing it for years. This is probably one from this year. Obviously, fish is fine. The way I grab them is when they come up and bite me, I grab them with this hand. That's why I always get chewed up here. And then I run this arm between their gill and their gill plate. When they're this big, you can run it between without hurting the gills. Because see, it's between the gills and the gill plate. Arm goes through, gills are not messed up because all the pressure's going on that gill plate. The fish is fine. We'll turn her loose. Sorry, Mr. Mark, I know you want to eat some. This is a big female. We got to turn her loose.
I hear you, baby.
And then maybe catch her again someday like we've caught her before. We'll probably even put another zip tie in her so we know we caught her twice. Appreciate y'all.
Now, the issue there is, why aren't they eating it? One that big probably doesn't taste too good. When they catch the 20-pounders, the 10-pounders, you know they're frying them up. They only look at it like that, it's not going to taste too good. It's been eating a lot of stuff for a long time with bioaccumulated toxins. And the good old boys don't even know before they had science, you don't eat the fish that big because it doesn't taste good and ain't good for you. Eat the little ones. But the point is that you look at those hillbillies, they're way more alive and way more in touch than the average trimmer. And you look at the two guys that look like Fred Flintstone with her. They're proud of their daughter. They're proud of their sister. That's their strength. They didn't raise their women to be cowards or to be weak. They raised them to be strong. And that's the big difference we're talking about. So let me show you a couple more articles to deal with this. It's out of Reuters. This came out yesterday. Prepping for disaster diversifies as more Americans lose trust. People are getting hatchets and guns and food and water filters and running the country. Black, white, old, young, they're all doing it because they can sense the social contract broken. How many years they demonize us for saying you need to get ready? It's a right-wing, white supremacist thing. Now you go to a gun shop, they say half our customers are black or Hispanic or liberals. And the liberals start shooting guns and hanging out with the conservatives. They go, well, I never figured any of this out. I'm going to join you. That's why when Trump got elected 7-8 years ago, they got so scared. I told the gun shop owners, like, man, we got liberals in here saying they're buying guns to kill Republicans, and we ought to call the government on them. They're sitting here ready for Civil War, and I said, just give it a couple of years. They'll be joining us. And I was back in the big gun shops about 2 years ago. They go, it's right. They're coming down on our team. You're right. I said, yeah, Nothing better than somebody who's going out and get gun and shoot and beat people and become self-sufficient because it activates their ancestral memory to be self-sufficient. Now, some are super hardcore commies. They want the guns to enslave us. But most of them have been buying the lie. Here's another one. Big article in Politico. How raw milk went from a whole food staple, by the way, they never had real raw milk, that's just not true, to a conservative signal. So the old-fashioned left was anti-vaccine and pro-organic because they were smart, not the modern left. They weren't perfect, they at least got that. They were kind of anti-establishment Republican that was bad. Now they're helping the Amish and other groups establish even bigger farms everywhere. We got it right outside Austin. I drink raw milk every day. Organic eggs, all of it. Now the Republicans are passing laws all over the country to not harass the Amish, to not harass the Mennonites or other families and people just saying, we're going to adopt this lifestyle. We're still going to go to the movies sometimes. We're still going to go into town. But you know what? We're done with the city. We're going to learn how to skin a buck. We're going to learn how to run a trot line. We're going to learn how to be self-sufficient. We're going to learn how to put in a big garden. We're going to learn how to put up those cans. And this whole article, it's like a 20-page article, freaks out about how Republicans are getting people self-sufficient. Now they're passing laws to let us grow our own food. Folks, you know you're a slave when the system doesn't want you to grow your own food. Absolutely insane. But that's how this all works. All right, I've got more I'm going to get. Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern. I never take this broadcast for granted. That's why I always say, Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow. But there have been a lot of big developments behind the scenes that I can tell you very calmly, because God's in control. The greatest threat ever, the existence and continued operation of InfoWars, is now upon us right now. And still support it, because even if they shut it down, it'll be open 5-6 months after that with how this bankruptcy works. But it's internal stuff doing this. It's outside forces doing it. And that's where we are. And some of these groups had federal filings that they thought were sealed. They didn't think I could copies of. I got them. I then interviewed the people involved. I found out the terrible stuff going on. Looks like the Justice Department's trying to set me up. I've already tried a lot. It's okay. But that's where we are right now. So this could be the last days of InfoWars. Because what they're filing is to remove me from any management here and lock me out of the building. So, yeah. This is Project Veritas stuff, but next level. They were dumb enough to try it. They can't help it. They got the directives, obviously, to do it. They're going to do it. But regardless, we're still ranking in with a clip from Tucker Carlson where I talked about this.
I should say, not to be dark, but human beings, among other unique qualities, are also the only species that commit suicide.
You're right. Well, exactly. We have that paradox because we control our environment. What animal would think commit suicide?
Right.
I mean, lemmings run off a cliff on accident. Buffalo do it, but they don't do it on purpose. Very well said. Exactly. So we have that heaven and hell. We have that potential of the little g God. We have what science fiction writers like Jules Verne's 140 years ago wrote about, like rockets that take off, go to the moon, and come back and land again. Elon Musk has done it. Whatever we can envision, it's not like Oprah's Secret where it instantly happens, but with the potential of technology and society, and like Elon says, a big enough population, you need billions to build infrastructures that can do anything. And then once you realize the planet's tiny and there's hundreds of billions of